Yes, people, what's going on? It's Got Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today, none other than the man himself is in the building. Connor is in the building. And do me a favor, guys, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already done so, as this is going to be a very interesting show. You got two people with two completely different types of opinions. You got Connor, who's a little bit more pessimistic, thinks the tie is done. You got me, who thinks, you know what, we can still do it. Comebacks on, hopefully, and we got some things to talk about. But this is the aftermath immediately after Arsenal lost to PSG 1-0 at the Emirates. We got to talk about some things, but before we go any further, we got to get back and take ourselves back to last night and how we felt last night and if we feel any different right now. But before we go any further, as always, guys, please do hit that like button on the way in. It helps the channel out massively. Let's get this video past at least 150 likes if possible. But yeah, Connor, Arsenal lost to PSG 1-0.
Yeah, we did.
And it's
extremely disappointing.
Stinky result.
Yeah, extremely disappointing. And it wasn't what I expected. I really thought we'd win the game. After our matchup against Real Madrid, I thought, wow, like if we can do that against the European champions, who knows what we can do going forward against other teams. And just wasn't the performance I expected from minute one, really. Even before the goal went in, I felt that we seemed very nervous. We weren't very confident on the ball. We were constantly kicking it up in the air, and it just wasn't the performance that I was looking for from Arsenal. I think a lot of players that normally shine for us let us down in terms of their performance, and just overall really let everyone down. And this isn't the time to do that, especially in the season when this competition is what we're riding on for our season to be successful, since we're not in any other competition now to win a trophy apart from the Champions League. Just really wasn't what I was expecting. That's why I was taken so much back last night, because I just didn't expect us. Listen, it was 1-0. It could have been. I mean, we could have conceded 2 or 3 on another day. You know, we got very lucky. But it is only 1-0. It could be a lot worse. It's just the fact, and with our performances in the Champions League coming up to that, just hit different, man. Last night, and it was really disappointing for me, Gal. Personally, I was really let down.
You know what? The main takeaways from this game for me is, in the first couple of minutes, we just were not ready. We just were not ready.
No.
In the first couple of minutes, PSG took control of this game, and it was a situation where from the 20-minute mark onwards, we switched into gear and we got better. But it took that almost penalty moment for these guys to finally wake up.
Yep.
And it was very disappointing, because I do think a change in formation, change in personnel in this game from the Real Madrid game is one of the main reasons why we performed the way we performed. We're going to talk about that in a second. And I was a little shell-shocked by how good they were in the first 15 minutes. Could it have been by design to have given them the ball to start the game?
I mean, they clearly came with a game plan. I thought we would have prepared better, because I do know the fact that if we went into the game that PSG love holding possession. They are a team that do enjoy holding possession, getting control of the game. I was a bit let down with the fact that we lost possession very easily as well. We kept giving away passes easily. And then once we lost possession, not much urgency to get it back. It was more, right, now we're going to sit back, let them come onto us, and we'll take the hits. And that wasn't the way I wanted to go about it, especially at home. Away, I can understand that, and I can understand why that can be a game plan, but it's the fact that we were at home yesterday. This is our advantage to take something to Paris, get a lead, and hopefully hold on or even get a win like we did in Madrid. Just completely backfired, and we've just made this job so much harder for ourselves. And I think it's really going to sting at Paris, because PSG are going to walk in with so much more confidence now. They're in front of their home fans, a ground that they're used to. And it's really more... It's just made our lives 10 times more harder. And it's such a shame, because this is the best we've done in this competition in years. And it would be such a shame for us to go out in the way that we have, due to the fact that it was such a lackluster performance last night.
Bro, it was a horrible way to start the game.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the lineup, can I just pull up an image of the goal? Dembele, nobody's near him.
No, not at all. He's completely left
Nobody's near him. Like, did you see the goal?
Yeah, he's completely left open, yeah.
Moreno is in the box, closest man to try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
No one's near him, and Partey in this kind of situation, I think he would have been able to hit with Declan Rice and Partey on the pitch. I think we definitely would have covered it better. Look at this. What on earth is
Yeah.
Ødegaard doing almost near the halfway line? Trossard is closer to Dembele than Ødegaard is. And Moreno, who's he defending over there?
No, is that Declan Rice on the right in front of Timber? Is
Declan Rice is over here in front of Timber. He was doubling up on Kvaratskhelia. So I understand doubling up on the winger who has the ball. My question is, Bukayo Saka, what do you call it? Bukayo Saka, Moreno, and Ødegaard. Where are you in this situation?
And it's not like this is from a corner. This is from open play. So they knew where he was. It's not like they were just saying
he's the one that played the pass to Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah. And there was no one on him. You know, it's
horrendous defending.
But you could see from minute one ago, we weren't confident. There was something that wasn't right in the air. There was something that the players felt nervous. And I'm like, I understand why. It's a massive occasion. I can get why the nerves are intact. But look at what you've done against Madrid. I mean, to be fair, against Madrid, we did have a bad first minute. We conceded, and luckily, sorry, Mbappe had a shot on goal. Sorry, and it was there was a couple of nerves, but then we got into the game. I kind of expected us to have a couple of nerves at the beginning, but the way that we conceded the goal, it was like we've never played football, defensive football before. We knew what we had to do to defend, and the fact that no one was marking him. It just really but it wasn't even that ago. It was the fact that we conceded that, and the reaction after was lackluster.
I just want to get back. I don't agree with you on one aspect. I don't think it was a mentality issue. I think it was an execution issue. Because when you think about it, the goal that PSG scored, it was extremely clinical from PSG. The goal that Dembele scored. To get it off the post from that angle, really good goal. Very difficult to get from that angle past everybody into the corner of the net and bounce it off the post and in. That was a really difficult finish.
Yeah. Don't
get me wrong. Now, PSG also had some better opportunities. Like, what on earth was Gonzalo Ramos doing? He could have easily scored there when he hit the bar, right?
Yeah. They gave them opportunities. That's why I got so angry, because it felt like they didn't treat this like a semi-final.
Barcola, but I'm talking about second half. First half, bro, let's keep it real. You're right. First half, the first 20 minutes, the intensity wasn't there. It wasn't the same level. But I'm not saying it's down to mentality, because I'm looking at those players on the pitch, and I'm looking at Saka, I'm looking at Rice, I'm looking at Moreno, I'm looking at Saliba, Timber, Kvaratskhelia, Kivior, Raya. Majority of those players were solid. There's only a couple players you could actually look at and say, what the hell were you doing this entire game? I don't think it's a mentality issue. I think it's an execution issue. And the reason why I say that, the goal that PSG scored was not a huge defensive error. It was amazing finishing from Dembele, and one mistake can cost you in these games. It was not 7 or 8 mistakes leading up to the goal.
Well, it was technically a defensive error when no one was marking it.
But it is understandable that a player can find space at times. Now, what you guys do to recover for the rest of the game is to make sure you don't give them that kind of space and you don't give them those kind of opportunities. And David Raya saved us a couple times, but let's be honest, we also had similar opportunities which we could have been one-on-one versus the keeper, and we didn't take it. So I'm not saying this game was so much PSG, because them winning has masked the overall performance being, yes, they were better, but I'm not sitting here saying it was horrific, the worst performance of our history.
No, because it could have been a lot worse.
We're kind of overdoing it.
No, don't get me wrong. There were moments in the game where we did take control and we did try, but then defensively they were solid last night as well. You got to put that into favour. Yes. Marquinhos had a fantastic game last night. Nuno Mendes had a fantastic game. He also seemed extremely comfortable, Nuno Mendes. I don't think Saka gave him that much of a threat. There were moments where Saka that he did, which I don't like to blame the ref, but that linesman needs checking out because that foul he gave on Saka, which he gave on Nuno Mendes, sorry, which wasn't a foul from Saka and stopped us from playing on which Saka could have had a really good chance. So Saka had moments. That linesman needs checking, by the way. What a fraud. But I'm not here blaming refs because we were bad last night.
Nuno Mendes did not pocket Saka, bro.
I don't think he pocketed Saka, but he was very chilled out. He didn't have much to worry about.
This was PSG.
Saka, for me, didn't feel impactful last night. I think there was something wrong with him again.
Do you not remember PSG literally had their whole defense covering Saka at a certain point? Because it was to end the first half, it was PSG versus Saka.
Of course, yeah, I get that because he's our best player. But I mean, if you want to talk away from that, I mean, off the ball, Agal, he wasn't pressing. He was walking around. There was no self-urgency from him at all. Please go back and watch the game if you don't believe me. Watch when Saka's off the ball on the right-hand side, when PSG have the ball, he is not showing any intent to want to go and win the ball. He's not. And I don't know whether that's a fitness thing because he's still not 100%, but he really was lackluster off the ball last night. And it's such a shame because against Madrid, that was completely the different scenario.
But I'm talking about Nuno Mendes versus Saka in the attacking end. Don't get me wrong. Nuno Mendes is a great left back. He's a great player. But Bukayo Saka still had the most dribbles completed in this match. Still got past Nuno Mendes and got past a lot of these guys numerous times. He still created a very dangerous chance for Martinelli, which Martinelli could have capitalized on but didn't, as he missed. Yeah, as he never got to the ball once the cross came in from the left flank. Yeah. Also, Bukayo Saka, yes, he didn't score. Yes, he didn't assist. Yes, it was a quiet game from our attack in general. But Bukayo Saka, from the 20th minute mark until the end of the first half, he had them on ropes. And for people to say it was Nuno Mendes shut him down, Nuno Mendes had the support of multiple players backing him in numerous situations. They did not rate our attack because they threw everything at Saka. And everybody else was like, you can do your thing. They let Martinelli go 1v1 versus everybody. They let Trossard go 1v1 versus everybody. They didn't care. The only person they doubled up, tripled up was Saka. And that's why when I hear Nuno Mendes versus Saka, I don't think it was as I think the story's being rewritten.
Listen, it's tricky to say. I mean, one thing I will say is I think, listen, Saka's our best player, isn't he? Right? He is our best attacking player. In the summer, we need to invest in two attackers that are scary as Saka Agal, because it's come to the point now where teams are doubling up on him, tripling, but sometimes quadrupling up on him, like we've just seen that picture there. You can even hear it from the crowd last night. The crowd, I'm sorry, I wasn't there. I know that I'm not a season ticket holder, which is the hate I've gotten for saying this. But I'm going to be blunt and true. The crowd was awful last night, right? But when Saka got the ball, the crowd was up on their feet because they know Saka and what he can do. We need more of that. But we need more of that in our team because I don't feel that much threat from Trossard. I don't feel that much threat from Martin Ødegaard. We need those type of players in the team, like a Gyökeres, if you want to go for a Nico Williams. Players that opposition are going to be afraid of. Opposition, whether you like it or not, are afraid of Saka. If you're rival fans, they are afraid of Saka. We need more of that because if they lock out Saka, that's the fear in our attack kind of gone, unless Martinelli has a really good game, you know? So we need more of that. And we did. And because as soon as Saka was locked out, it's like, what do we do? And we missed out on that last night. It's just, yeah, listen, I personally agree. I'm not going to go on the thing of Nuno Mendes locked up Saka because I'm going to keep it honest and real. There wasn't really many moments where he quote unquote locked him up because Saka did have opportunities to go forward at goal and he did take chances at goal. And that's not what I call locked up. If he had exactly no chances on goal, that's locked up. But for me, he didn't. But he had a tricky game last night. But I will have to criticise off the ball. And it is true. He was not showing any intent to win the ball back. And you've got to do that against PSG because they love to hold possession.
We did a good job limiting PSG to less opportunities in the after the first 20 minutes. We did a really good job limiting PSG, and I think defensively we did a lot better at limiting PSG. But one thing I want to talk about quickly is you're right, the attack is costing us. The attack is costing us these games. The attack is costing us opportunities to win silverware, and the attack once again is the major issue. But another major issue is the midfield. We're going to get onto the midfield in a second.
Yep.
Before we do, though, I just want to talk about Timber quickly. Everyone's speaking about Kvaratskhelia versus Timber. Where do you stand on the whole Kvaratskhelia-Timber debate? Because I don't think Kvaratskhelia deserved the penalty. People really are saying that Kvaratskhelia deserves a penalty because Timber put his arm around his waist as he's going through three men.
Yep. For me, that wasn't a penalty, personally. And I'm not saying that because I'm an Arsenal fan. The limited amount of contact that was on that, it was not forceful. It was not, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't seen the replay really, but there wasn't. I wish you had the angle of the other way, literally opposite way, because then you could see better. I mean, yes, his hand is touching his chest area, more towards down his stomach, but there's no intent to yank him down to the ground. It's a tap, and this is the thing nowadays in football.
Should they have gotten a penalty?
I don't think they should have had a penalty. No, but that's just me.
Some people are saying he made a meal of it 100%.
That was Joey Bob.
That's a foul 100%. No, dive, book him. It really divides opinion. It really divides opinion.
I don't think, but I mean, if we want to go on the basis of quickly, I mean, I don't think it's penalty personally. That's just me. If we want to talk about Kvaratskhelia versus Timber last night, Kvaratskhelia, I think, will be one of the best wingers come up. I mean, he already is fantastic, but I think he's going to be up there in the next season or two as one of the best because the talent.
He already is, bro. He's what he. How many better left wingers are there in the world?
That's true. That's true. That's true. I mean, just what he done last night, and everyone said it. Every single Arsenal fan said it. That is probably the first time this season that I can really, really think of, because that's going to live in my mind. I haven't had performances that have lived in my mind like last night, where Timber has been shut down like that. He was. To be fair, second half, when we got more of the ball, he was doing very well going forward. He made a really good tackle that made us progress forward. So he did have a better game in the second half. But that first half was a long day for him. He suffered that first half, and he really did feel the repercussions of Kvaratskhelia. And I'm just wary now of the second leg. Will Timber rise up to the occasion? Will he improve on what he had to do against Kvaratskhelia? Because he's going to bring his A game again for the second leg.
He got a yellow card. Some people saying he should have been sent off.
Now that's another thing. That Hakimi, don't call me, bias or anything. That motherfucker should have been sent off. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm wrong about that. The amount of times that I don't want to go ref blaming because the ref wasn't the ref weren't great, but I'm blaming more our performance and the manager's performance on why we lost last night. But I'm not a ref blamer normally, but that ref, I'm not too sure about him. Couple challenges with Hakimi where I'm like, right, that's the second, third warning now. Where's the card going out?
The referee really let us play. He let us play. I'm not gonna blame the ref. It is what it is.
I'm not either, but there were moments.
He let us play. He let us play. He really let us play.
Not really. The first half, I'm not gonna lie, that guy stopped at the start of the game like it was an NFL match. He did.
He did, but he also let the guys play. Like he didn't want to impact the game too much in a negative light.
I don't know.
Before we go on to the midfield, can we quickly just speak on the PSG players? Because the PSG players, they deserve a lot of credit. And the PSG players, I'm gonna pick out Donnarumma, number one.
Fantastic.
Number two, João Neves. What a performance from him. I've not seen João Neves play that well defensively. I did not think he had that in his locker. His defensive performance in that game was unbelievable.
Yep.
Paris Saint-Germain's players all pretty much stood on their heads. I can't think of many who had a bad performance. Maybe Hakimi, but the Paris Saint-Germain players, Donnarumma, what do you call it? I don't know why they gave Coutinho man of the match. He wasn't man of the match for me.
For me, it was Donnarumma. Donnarumma was just phenomenal.
Donnarumma was unbelievable.
Doué was fantastic.
João John Neves was unbelievable. Kvaratskhelia in the first 10 minutes. Dembele's goal was unbelievable. Doué was having fun.
Now that's a talented youngster, by the way. Doué is. I'd love Doué at Arsenal at some point.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think flicks and tricks are going to benefit you if you don't actually benefit from a goal.
Of course not. But on the ball, look how confident he was.
He's very confident.
If you're doing flicks and tricks, you must be confident in a game because you don't normally see it with players. You don't normally get that in a game.
What impressed me was we said Arsenal has a more physical midfield. Nuno Mendes and Fabian Ruiz put in better defensive performances than Ødegaard and Moreno.
100%. 100%. Yeah,
and that's where the midfield battle.
For me,
that's where the game was won and lost.
Yeah, and as soon as Ødegaard comes up against physical midfielders, he pipes out. He hides because he doesn't want to get involved in the battle. He'll run around, but this is where my agenda.
Talk about Ødegaard now.
Well, yeah, this is where my agenda annoys me. But he runs to the goalkeeper. He makes a couple movements, say, "Come on, guys, let's move forward." It's not enough. You need to do more. I'm sorry, Martin, but you did sign up for this club. You knew what you were going to be when you accepted the captain's armband. You are meant to be one of our most creative outlets. And I'm sorry, and I know he's been injured this season. I understand that, but we can't be doing the injury excuse for games like this. Last night was probably one of his worst performances in an Arsenal shirt. It was just absolutely non-existent. No intent to get the ball forward. He always wants to play the safe pass. He never wants to take a risk. It's just it's not a player. I'm sorry, Aggain, I know we have different opinions on Ødegaard, and I can understand that, but for me, it's just not a player I want at Arsenal. If that's the mentality he has in games like this, big games. He does turn up in game. I'm not gonna lie. The game against Man City, he was fantastic. He's not. I'm not just saying he's shit in every big game because he did turn up in that game and he was fantastic. But I want that every big game. And listen, not all players are going to be 10 out of 10s in their big games. I'm a big fan of Jude Bellingham. He's not a big fan with with a lot of people, but I'm a big fan of him. He's not always 10 out of 10s, but he's there. He's crucial to when he needs to be there. And that's why I feel like we need players that we know we can rely on. I can't sit before a match and say I can rely on Martin Ødegaard tonight because I can't. And he's too inconsistent. And he passes. So, I mean, to be fair, I watched the. I'm a big fan of the Arsenal roundabout. Pick up Dan Potts, and I know, Gal, that's I don't know if that's a favourite show of yours to go on, but when Lee done the Ødegaard stats of where he passes and stuff.
To the left.
Yeah, to the left. That actually made me think, and it's like, wow, is it really that much what he does? But for me, Gal, I am coming to my wit's end with him. And I'm sorry.
The question is Ødegaard isn't good enough.
Yeah. And it's a harsh reality, I know. For me, I think
let me just point this out. Technically, he's good enough. Creatively, as a midfielder, he's excellent on the ball. He has vision. He has the passing range.
Yeah.
Statistically, 2022-2023 season, he showed that he's capable of doing it. People talk about leadership. Although he might not be the type of captain people like, he does have some leadership qualities on the pitch, showing and instructing people on what to do. Just to be devil's advocate, he has stepped up massively in big games in the past versus Manchester United, Liverpool, Spurs as an example, right? Now, is he a system player? Because that is the question we need to ask ourselves. Because it seems to be now that we've shifted away from a certain type of midfield and we're asking him to do something a little bit different, he's incapable of doing what we're asking him to do this season. These are my issues with Ødegaard. Limitations physically. He doesn't seem to be able to be fast enough on the counterattack, and he slows down possession, right? And intensity of the game, when it's high, it seems to be that if the line-breaking passes are not coming to him, he's not going out of his way to get to them, right?
Yep.
Consistency in these big games has been a question of mine. We asked for him to show something in the title race. We've asked for him to show it against Bayern Munich last year. We asked for him to show it versus Real Madrid. We asked for him to show it in this game. Really is in these crucial matches, he doesn't really step up. Now, he's done it in the past. He's shown he has the capability to do it in the past. I don't know why he hasn't been able to do it lately. My main issue with Martin Ødegaard lately has been his work rate. defensively. He's not a box-to-box beast. He's not showing the defensive work rate. And he might be good at pressing from the front, but we're almost using him as a second striker and hiding him in the defensive third. You got Martinelli and Saka putting in more defensive work from left wing and right wing than he does in the midfield. That is my main concern on why we conceded the goal that we conceded. And what he's doing off the ball is more concerning to me than what he's doing on the ball. And then finally, we compare him to Kevin De Bruyne. People compare him to Bruno Fernandes. These guys produce way more in the final third.
100%.
And defensively, he's supposed to be one of the guys who at least puts in the work off the ball also. And outside of pressing, he has not been showing the same level of defensive capabilities that he was showing earlier in his time at Arsenal. I'm not seeing the same level of work rate in the final third. Maybe he's being asked to do less defensively. Maybe it's a tactical decision to have him do less defensive work. But surely, if a team needs to stop a counterattack or something, he should be busting his gut to get back into the box and not still at the halfway line when Dembele receives the ball. I'm not going to scapegoat Martin Ødegaard. He's had good games.
I actually respect this guy. I'm surprised you're saying all this.
He's had good games. He's had bad games, but I think people are right about Martin Ødegaard. I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm just saying he has not been good enough this season.
Yeah, I agree. You made all those points ago. I agree with. I think this is what I mean. This is what infuriates me. He's got the stats from the last 2 seasons to show that he's actually a capable player of doing what he's positionally, creatively able to do. He's shown it in the stats. But it is, unfortunately, when it comes to crunch time, and it's a big game, and he is one of our important players. He's every single time we have a big game, he is one of the players that we look to stand out. Exactly the same with Saka. Actually, it's not even that. I'm not even going to say players. I think maybe bar the youngsters like Lewis Skelly or Wanyeri, everyone that's in that team is a fully fledged professional footballer who's been playing football for many years, who have been playing football for many years. They know what it means to play a big game. And it's come to a point now, in my opinion, personally, if we didn't have many issues to solve up front and we were, say, quite secure up front and we had a striker, we had maybe 2 decent left wingers, so-and-so, in an ideal world, I think Martin Ødegaard, I mean, maybe not under Mikel Arteta, but I think if under any other manager that maybe would come in this summer, I think he'd be on the chopping block. And I think rightfully so deserves to be on the chopping block. I am coming to the point now where I'm losing all will to live to give this guy any more time. And I really want him to come out in an interview, Gal, because I know he done an interview the other night last night.
I don't want to hear interviews. Show me on the pitch.
Well, that's true. Show me the pitch, but I want him to. I don't watch all the interviews and the press conferences before the games, but I can't see if he's done even one recently. And I really want him to.
He did one yesterday after the game.
No, I know yesterday, but I mean before that. Like he hasn't ever really. I don't see him taking accountability of his actions on the football pitch.
He's going to have to start mentioning the fact that he's having a poor season.
He has to, yeah.
But let's get on to the major missing piece in the midfield.
Rice should be captain.
We're going to talk about Rice also. Arsenal, Partey missing versus PSG. His absence was felt. His absence was extremely felt. And it's part of the title of the video for a reason. Partey's absence was extremely felt. And the reason why it was felt is because Moreno had to play in the midfield. You had to have Declan Rice playing the 6, which he has not done at all for majority of the season, really. Let's be honest. How many times has Declan Rice played in the 6? It's either been Jorginho or Partey. And I'm now ready to say, off the back of the performance versus PSG, Declan Rice brings us more as an 8 than he does as a 6 because of the lack of line breaking passes and because of his ability to dribble and drive from deep with the ball into the final third from that left 8 position. It benefits us way more than anything Mikel Moreno offers us, and Mikel Moreno would have offered us more up top than what Leandro Trossard does. Leandro Trossard just does not occupy the same level of space.
It really bothered me, Gal, the fact that the manager decided to make that decision of putting him back in the 8. when he knows he's literally fair play to him.
But he did try it versus Ipswich, and it worked perfectly. Now he didn't try it again. He didn't try it again versus Palace because we rested Moreno. But I do understand why he's not going to shake it up too much. But what I'm going to say is why I felt Partey was missing before we get into defending Arteta or anything like that, because I don't want to get into our Arteta conversation yet. Partey plays in this game. Declan Rice is the 8. Moreno's up top. Trossard's on the bench. That changes so much for us. We now have an option off the bench to help us if we need something and we're chasing the game. And Trossard has shown that he's very effective off the bench. Number 2, Mika Moreno allows us to receive the balls from distance, and he allows us to play long balls a lot more effectively than we were with Trossard in the team. Number 3, Declan Rice has the freedom to go higher up the pitch and create problems, winning the ball higher up the pitch and to get counterattacks for Arsenal or 2v1s, 3v1s versus PSG, which we've done many times before. Similar, for example, versus Man City and versus Real Madrid, we've been able to win the ball high up the pitch and create mismatches. Next thing, it allows the line-breaking passes to be played by Partey and gets the ball to the attacking players like Ødegaard, like Saka, like Martinelli a lot easier. In the entirety of the game, the only person who was playing line-breaking passes was Maz Lewis-Kelly. So I am looking at Arteta on what the strategy was on how we were going to play out the back, what the playmaking idea was, because it didn't seem like we had an idea how to play make without Partey or Jorginho on the pitch in this game. That's why we need a Zubimendi. That's why we need to sign a Zubimendi. Terry was talking about it yesterday. I fully agree. We missed the line-breaking passes, and Martin Ødegaard, part of why Martin Ødegaard was not good yesterday was because we couldn't get him the ball. Nobody could get him the ball. Literally, PSG just had 2 people around him and nobody could get him the ball. Where Saka, we give Saka the ball, immediately they come and defend him. It comes back to us, and same cycle over and over again.
It's so boring as well. I mean, listen, I'm not asking to play fluid football, but it's so predictable as well. The way we play, actually, it's weird because it does work the way we play, but then you think about it and you think, but teams must know what we're going to do in a game because it is literally the exact same way every single time. And that goes back to the manager. Does he adapt in games very well? I don't know. And listen, I know last night I said some things about Thomas Partey and him being in the squad.
This is the stupidest comment all day. PSG did not use Spurs tactics. They did not
play a high line, Troll, mate.
They did not play a high line. They also defended for 20 minutes.
They defended very well, which Spurs can't do.
Yeah, so let's not act like this is even close comparison. People saying, is Arteta still an architect? Yeah, he is. We're gonna talk about
clips jokes, man.
Yeah, that is
he's an architect.
Nah, you know what sent me? What sent me is Lee Gunner and everyone just going crazy.
Oh god, you do say some crazy.
They call Arsene Wenger an architect because he built the stadium.
Well, but yeah, and he also built a lot of things in modern day. That's now in modern day football, so you could say he's an architect for that as well.
Hey,
anyway,
he was a visionary. He said top 4 was going to be a trophy. Now you got Pep Guardiola celebrating it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's architect that as well, hasn't he? And he gets a lot of stick for that nowadays from a lot of fans. So anyway, on Thomas Partey. Yeah, I said a lot of things obviously last night, and I shouldn't do it, but I do look at a lot of the comments, and I'm like, I'm not getting stick for this. And I want to make my point clear again, because I don't think I made it clear last night because I was in a lot of emotions. Last night, I made comments about how if Thomas Partey was in the squad last night, I think the midfield may have been boosted, but I don't think going forward and attacking, we would have been better. And I want to make my point a bit more clear because I don't think I made it very clear last night. Now, I sit here and say our midfield would have definitely been better. It would have been way better with him in the 6 and Rice in the 8, because progressively going forward, we'd have been a lot better. And look how we played in that system anyway. It's our best 11 with that pairing. But the reason I said I didn't think we'd be better is because of I've lost the word now. There was the word in my head. Because of the attitude from the players, especially attacking wise. I think defensively was a bit less of a worry. Apart from maybe Timber, I think the other 3, were actually not too bad last night. Saliba did make some really good tackles, and he did hold off Dembele quite well too, bar the goal. But the body language from the players last night and the attitude made me say Partey being in the squad wouldn't have made their body language change or their attitude change. And that's just my prediction. Maybe it could have been a lot different because he offers a lot more going forward.
And I completely disagree. And this is all I got to say to you. With Partey on the pitch, you now have another player who can give Saka and Ødegaard the ball in more favorable positions, which is then going to have them waiting for the ball rather than just looking around, not knowing when they're going to receive the ball. So immediately right there, body language is changing because now you're looking to receive the ball rather than knowing you're not going to receive the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think you're wrong. And the only way we're going to know is just look at Arsenal versus Real Madrid, look at Arsenal versus PSG in the second leg.
Let's see in the second leg.
And I think you are going to be happily mistaken when Partey comes in and you see him making a difference to our attack, because Thomas Partey allows us to play the ball to Martin Ødegaard a lot easier, allows us to play the ball to Declan Rice in higher positions, allows Mikel Moreno to be up top. There's so many benefits from Partey playing in this game that I find it crazy for you to think it wouldn't make that big of a difference.
No, but I don't know if I'm just getting things mistaken. I'm not saying that him and the squad wouldn't benefit us last night. I think it would. That's the thing, it would. But I'm talking about the individuals that have bad games.
What about the defensive display, allowing us to then win the ball higher up the pitch?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think as a midfield and defensive, I think it would have bolstered us. But I mean the attitude of the players last night, and the reason I'm saying that is the attitude from Saka last night, which listen, you have moments going forward, but
the attitude from Saka was give me the ball, move the fuck out of my way.
Off the ball, Ødegaard, he wasn't good enough for me last night. I think
the ball, maybe the managers instructed him not to go as hard.
Maybe he did, but again, at the end of the day, we don't know that. And the way I saw Saka off the ball last night,
we also don't know if you're right.
But yeah, exactly. But Saka's, what I know in Saka is he's majority of the time off the ball, he's always raring to go get it. And last night just wasn't it at all last night. And Martinelli.
And what I know is
Martinelli wasn't utilised enough last night.
What I know is Martin Ødegaard in this team improves us defensively and offensively based on his impact in the positions that other players will have to be forced to play, and what position he would play in.
Is this a quote? Sorry, I missed that.
Sorry?
Is that a quote you just read? Sorry.
No, that's me. That's my opinion. So
say that again, sorry? You think if Partey was in the squad?
If Partey's in this team, we're better offensively and defensively based on players playing in their natural position or playing players to their strengths. Like a Moreno in the box rather than Trossard in the box.
Yeah, and also I think maybe Martinelli would have been utilised more because obviously when Declan Rice is on the left,
plays better with.
He offers a lot, but he gives the ball to him as well. Marino didn't seem to really want to give the ball, but that's because Marino is more of a direct.
Let's shift off to the next thing. No more Ødegaard free kicks, please.
I don't know, Agal, and that's another thing that really pissed me off last night. I don't understand. Is he trying to prove something? Is he trying to say, yo, I'm actually good at it? Because we haven't seen that you're good at it for about 4 years, mate.
He got an assist for his Palace, and he thinks he can take all of them now. Declan Rice is on free kicks.
Yeah, he has to be. He has to be. Corners, free kicks, all of it. He has to be.
The first free kick Declan Rice takes in the game, it goes in the back of the net. Unfortunately, it's offside, but I'm just saying. Declan Rice is the free kick taker. Ødegaard, stay away from them.
I think, obviously, Ødegaard will be here next season. But I think if we get the job done in the summer and solidify the positions that we need to get done and fill in, next season he should be wary that he'll be on the chopping block in the summer. Because I mean, but then again, I think the manager loves him. So it's his signing. He got him in. I think he may, dare I say, even carry him over to, if Arteta goes to another team in the future, he may even carry him on over to.
You know what? Let's talk about Arteta. The Arteta Out Mob are back. And I said this on my Twitter. I said this on my Twitter earlier today, and I'll repeat it again. It's either Arteta wins the UCL or sack him. That is the weirdest take.
No, it's not, Agal. No, it's not. It's not. Agal, it's been 6 years now. We have.
I don't think you guys make sense. And
Yeah.
let me explain my point though. It's either Arteta is a club legend and he wins us our first ever UCL trophy, build him a statue at the end of his career at Arsenal, and he's going to be on to great things, or he doesn't win anything. It's our 5th year. We don't win anything. We spent this much money. The team is ready. The players are ready. Even though you expect him to go and deliver a Champions League with Mikel Moreno at striker, to me, it's like, have some awareness of where we've come, how far we've come, and the fact that I think we are all saying we need a striker. We're all saying we need a left winger. And to say sack Arteta because we are so close, but we need these pieces, what's to say that Arteta with those pieces doesn't dominate the league?
Can I clear my point for why this season? Now, this season, I think we can both agree.
You said sack him tonight.
Every Arsenal attack. Well, what?
You would sack him. You would have sacked him after the Newcastle game.
What, against in the Carabao Cup?
Yeah.
No, I would have given him, because the league was still on, all that kind of stuff. I'm not the league. The Champions League was still on, so I would have still wanted to see the outcome of that, which we're going to see. No, for me personally, this season we all wanted, bar the transfer window, because we all knew what we needed in the transfer window and it didn't get done. But that's Edu's fault and that's Arteta's fault. Arteta set himself up for failure there. That's his problem, right? We all said league is this season. We're winning the league this season. The aim this season, we didn't even think about the Champions League. We wanted to win the Premier League this season because of our tenure in the last couple of years, finishing second. The Champions League run has covered Arteta's arse because of how shit we've messed up that league this season with all our
Is it Arteta's fault or is it the board?
Yes, it is, because he is the manager.
No. You can make the case to the board.
Injuries, yes, injuries have played a part. Don't get me wrong, but the run to Liverpool, the run before the Liverpool,
we could have signed Ollie Watkins. Wouldn't he have made a difference?
No, I know, Ødegaard, but the run before everyone got injured, Liverpool. What was the stat? Sorry, before everyone got injured, yeah, we were above Liverpool. No, what was it? No, sorry, we were below Liverpool. I can't remember what the stat was, but either way,
you're telling me we can't, with the fully fit squad, we wouldn't bridge the gap?
Liverpool were there for the taking this year. They weren't as strong as Manchester City for the last couple of years. Liverpool are a fantastic side. Liverpool are a brilliant side, and they deservedly get the league this season by a country mile. However, they weren't a team like Man City where they were
more points than Man City did last year.
Undefeatable. But for me, Ødegaard, personally, this was the season to do it. And I can't justify, this is now the 6th year where we're going to go without a trophy, or 5th year we're going to go without another trophy. And the run that he's made, he's proven that he can beat the European champions. Why not go ahead and win the whole thing? Go ahead and push for the whole thing. And I'm sorry, it comes to a point where, but then next season we get the striker.
Off as entitled.
Pardon?
It comes off as Arsenal fans are entitled.
I don't think we're entitled, Guy. I think we're getting to listen. At least we're not Man United fans, or where we're just sacking managers because we just want success instantly. We've waited long enough, Gal. And it comes to a point where how much longer are we going to have to wait? How many more times are we going to come to the end of the season and say, "Oh, but we need a striker," which we do.
I got the answer.
Which we do.
Give him.
But you even said this season was the last season.
Give him his striker and his left winger, and we go and cook this next year. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is so close to delivering, and I believe in this manager. I believe in this team. I believe in the process, and I think we're so close. We're currently in phase 4, heading into phase 5. We go and win this. We go and win the Champions League. We're fully through. We've breaking the threshold, and we've now delivered that trophy. If we don't deliver the trophy this season, which is the Champions League, I still believe Arsenal are still very well equipped to go into next season competing for the league, competing for the Champions League once again. And with the striker and a left winger coming into this team, it could transform us. Bro, how many games has Arteta managed a win and we've come out of there with a draw? Because these players are ineffective. But yesterday, I put it on both. Yesterday, I put it on both. But overall, I am not giving up on Arteta. I believe he's the right man for the job. And what I think has shown people that they should give more belief to him is the fact that all these players go down in the attack. Mikel Moreno comes in and he's literally saving our season. Is that down to Mikel Moreno alone? No, it's also down to Arteta and his management finding solutions where other people would have just laughed at us. What, you're gonna put Moreno up top? You think you're gonna do anything with Moreno up
Yeah,
top?
we had no other choice.
I get it.
Not just
But
a
one
masterclass
second.
moment.
Stop. You have other choices. You could have
Like?
played Martinelli. You could have
Oh,
played.
come off it. No. Gal, do you know why he put him up? Gal, why he put him up front was we love lobbing the
play
ball.
Mikel Moreno.
Ball in. We love
Play
lobbing the
Mikel
ball in.
Moreno.
No, Gal, no.
To play Mikel Moreno up top, who's never played a striker, and to
Gal, how
consistently
tall is Moreno? Tell me, how tall is he? 6'1"?
6'2", maybe. I don't know.
How tall is Kai Havertz? He literally said, "I need someone tall to lob the ball in. Can you do it for me? Fantastic. We're playing Leicester. Piece of piss. There you go, mate." But to be fair, what Moreno's offered us in games, I never thought he'd be able to offer us. But I don't.
Does the manager not get credit for that?
A masterclass.
It is a masterclass.
He needed someone tall up front. He didn't want Trossard or
Mikel Moreno doing what he's doing is a masterclass. Let's be real, bro.
I can't say that putting Moreno up front warrants him to keep his job.
It's a masterclass.
He's an architect. I can't. For me, again, I'm sorry. I know we'll always disagree on this. For me, I think enough's enough, and I think we can go again next season with this squad, but with a different coach. And I don't think we're going to go backwards. I think we'll be perfectly all right. We've got a well-driven squad. Some players need to leave from the bench. I know Tierney's leaving, maybe Zinchenko as well. Bert is now here. Refresh, restart, some new players. We know what we need to invest in. We know the squad that we have and what we need to do. I don't think a new manager is going to come in and just say, right, I want to get rid of Saliba, Partey, all these, because they just don't work. We can see the system that we're working with and what we have to adapt with. Yes, new coaches come in with different ideas. I understand that. But look at Arne Slot. He's walked in with Jurgen Klopp's side, made one transfer, and has gone ahead and won the league of it. He didn't completely flip over the squad and change it. You don't always retract with a new coach. And I don't think it will hurt to see a new coach at Arsenal.
All right. I'm not gonna entertain a new manager until we get that tax sorted. Next, it's not over. I don't think the tie is over. I think we can go and turn it around at PSG. Now, even if we go to penalties, it's gonna be long. We gotta go and be brave. We gotta show our attacking intent. With Partey, Ødegaard, and Rice midfield, with the defense that we have and the attack that we have to our disposal, it's going to be difficult to get multiple goals. So we're going to have to keep it goalless from PSG for as long as possible before we get back into the tie. If PSG score first, that could be tie buried. So we need to make sure we're resolute defensively, go into that game, trying to get the opening, the equalizer, and chase. And if from there, I'm not going to penalties. I need Arsenal to come out of that with a 2-0 victory. That's what we're going to need. We're going to need a 2-0 victory. We're going to need a defensive performance of the ages. David Raya, you're going to have to stand on your head. Timber, you're going to have to stand on your head. Saliba, stop making people nervous. and yeah.
I mean, to be fair, listen, obviously, but do you know what? Actually, I want to give respect to Jakub Kiwior. Because and that is respect. Because I think I expected him to be like the Rob Holding of replacements of like third choice. But to be fair to him, he's actually not been that bad. And I do want to give him credit because I actually think he's dealt with the pressure of coming off Gabriel's shoulders and having to replace him. And so I don't think he's as great as Gabriel. I think Gabriel on the ball is a lot better and progressively going forward and defensively aware. I think he's a lot better. However, respect to him on that one, especially last night. Listen, we didn't have a great. We had a really bad moment with Dembele, but overall, I didn't think after the game he's had a bad performance. I think he's been doing all right, but that's the side of it. Is it over a gal? I know I made comments as well that I think it's over.
You said it was over yesterday. You lost
the only reason I think it's over is because of what this team's produced in situations like this before where we've been down in goals. And I'm not just saying it because I don't like the club. I'm negative. I've seen what this team produces before in situations where they're down a couple goals and it's not pleasant and it's not fantastic to watch. So listen, I want nothing more than to go to Paris and absolutely tear apart PSG and hopefully leave with a clean sheet. That's my ideal world. But for me, last night was the opportunity to go to Paris with an advantage. I just don't think the players are going to be able to get this job done. It's not the fact that I'm against the team. It's not the fact that I'm negative. I know I want the team to win. I'm going to predict the team to win even. However, for me personally, in my heart, I want them to prove me wrong, but from what I've seen from them in games like this, especially in second legs, they do struggle to come back from losing positions. I could be stat checked on that, though. I could be wrong. I don't know. But from what I remember in games like this, we do struggle. So please do correct me if I'm wrong. Stat me if I'm wrong. When we do actually have a better percentage of coming back from losing second legs from the first. But I'm keeping it honest to it. And also the PSG fans last night were incredible. And that's going to be a lot bigger next Wednesday. And that might...
For the last game at the Emirates this season that matters, for us to lose, it's kind of sad. And the friggin' Tifo was shit, bro. What was that?
I don't even want to talk about that. And that was the clubs. That wasn't even that was they rejected the fans one for that. And
the fans one that the fans made fun of also. After we seen what the Arsenal brought out, we probably regret rejecting the fans one.
Of course we do. Yeah. I think the fan one should have gone up either way. It's the club is built on fans. If you don't have fans, you're nothing. And
you know they're probably thinking it's too similar to Money Heist. We don't want a copyright issue.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that was disappointing as well. Everything just went wrong last night in it. And I just think it's going to have some tough repercussions. And
what does that mean? Shower curtain shit.
Do you know what a shower curtain is? In your shower, do you know how you pull one over? Like it's not straight. It's all like congealed, if that makes sense.
My shower has a metal door.
Yeah, mine does too. But some of the obviously old school ones, they have a
metal door with the glass where it goes like folds in, folds out.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So it folds to the side. So it's like it goes like that, and then it goes like whoop,
yeah. Whoop. So whoever put that teeth up should be sacked as it is.
I've never ever actually had shower curtains. Everywhere where I've lived, it's always been like you walk in, window moving.
Living the high life, there you go.
Yeah, I lived in.
That's I actually haven't either. But
I feel like shower curtains and bath is very old school.
Yeah, it is quite old school to be fair. But
anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Today Inter play Barcelona. I expect Barcelona to get the job done. Just Barcelona's the team that's gonna be the team to beat this year. If Inter beat Barcelona, I'll be surprised. But regardless, I would not want to face Inter in the final.
No, I don't. I don't want to face either of them, to be honest with you. But Inter. Barcelona are current. Hansi Flick's actually 8-0 in finals. In terms of he's 8-0 in finals. So just remember that.
How many has he won?
God, I have to check that. But I got.
Wait. What are you talking about? They just conceded. I call it 2 goals to.
No, as in winning, not the goals conceded. As in winning 1, 2, 3 trophies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about goals.
No. As in like
he's never lost a final.
Copa del Rey, Super Cup.
And Arteta, he's never scored in an Arsenal team has never scored in a semi-final.
Yeah, because he left Bayern Munich in 2021.
Wait, how much did we score against Man City in the FA Cup semi-final? We scored 2, right?
We scored 2. How many finals has Hansi Flick lost?
I'm not comparing Hansi Flick to Arteta. Anybody?
No, I'm not comparing him. Sorry, he's played 7 and won 7. There you go.
Anyways, fair play to him. We're gonna wrap it up here, boys. Let's see if Luis Enrique and Hansi Flick both take out the defensive managers in Arteta and what's it called? What's the manager for Inter called again? What's the Inter manager's name?
Inzaghi.
Yeah, there you go. Him. Anyways, we're gonna
that's my guy. I'm joking.
We're gonna wrap it up here, boys. You have yourself a wonderful day. What are people talking about?
Paid for rice and checkout. Is that like a
That's like a credit source.
Yeah. No. What is Klarna? I thought that sounds
Klarna is like a creditor. You pay for things in installments. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, boys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Catch you in the next video. Love for the love. Connor, it's been a great video. I think people like the chemistry, the fact that you're very much different than I am, and you don't agree with everything that I say. And don't think I like an echo chamber, guys. I like bringing difference of opinions. We're gonna have a balanced conversation. But yeah, love for the love, people. Catch you in the next video and enjoy the Champions League tonight. Peace.